Right, in this lesson what we'll be doing is we'll be making some design modifications to the lower lighting can. Specifically, we're going to be isolating the can design, shrinking down the transparent face slightly and repositioning it, and adding a fillet to the back edge. Okay, to begin with, let's isolate our problem as we've done in the past. So we're just going to zoom up using the shift key to pan into position. Then we're dragging our mouse from left to right across the screen. You can see we've selected the can that we've previously built, and we're using our hide command to hide that out. Now we're going to swap out our problem. There we go. And we can remove the cowl that we previously fabricated. So we're just pressing the delete key in order to do that, and you can see the back of the can is in position. Now we're going to shrink down the light face just slightly. So let's double click on our perspective view to bring up the 4 viewports, and we're going to be focused on our right viewport for the moment. So make sure our snaps are switched on, our point is switched on, and we're going to use the transform scale 2D command. Just float our mouse until the point command on the snaps comes up, and we're just going to shrink it ever so slightly inside that face. There we go. Left click to exit the command. I'm zooming in on the front view, dragging with my left mouse key held down into the position we require, and just checking to make sure everything's correctly placed. Now we might just scale that up just a tiny bit to be sure. So right click on our command bar, bring up the scale 2D again, click on the point, and then drag it back out until we get a balance between those two surfaces. That should be just fine, just there. So you'll notice one thing we need to check is that the copy command is switched off. So we've got copy no, so we've done the right thing here, and we only have the one element in place. Next thing we need to do is just put a small lamp at the back of the can, which will glow at the end of our design. So in order to do that, we're going to use the transform scale 3D command. So I've left clicked on 3D. We're going to use the same point snap as before, so I'm floating my mouse over the right viewport, and with snap switched on and point switched on until that label comes up on your screen. You can see that grab. Now make sure copy yes is toggled on, so if yours says copy no up here, simply type C. So I'll just do it to indicate. Copy C, you can see it shifts to copy no. Copy C, enter. You can see we now have a copy that will be made when we make the scale down. So I'm dragging my mouse to the right here, clicking, and then shrinking that down until it's just a little bit bigger than the back of the can. There we go. Right click to exit the command. You can see it there on the right hand side view. Left clicking and just simply holding down my left mouse key and dragging that into position. There we go. And in order to see that result, I'm just going to hide that out. There we go, and there's the lamp that will glow at the end of the job in the back of the lighting can. Now let's add a fillet to the can. So in order to do that, we're going to use our solid pipe command. So pipe, select the line that we want to get the pipe on, which will be the fillet on the back of the can, and we can either select either or the curve that we've made as a construction line, or the poly surface edge. So I've just selected the poly surface edge, and the diameter that we need, so we're going to type diameter, will be 8. So I've just keyed in D, enter, and key in 8, enter, and it says on curve. There should be a little label on your screen there. Right click, and there we have the fillet on the back of the can, ready to go. So we're just going to switch our view to get that transparent face back. So switch out our view. I'm just going to hide that, and then we're going to swap again. So in order to swap, we're just going to right click on our command bar, scroll down to swap hidden and visible, and there's our completed light can ready to go. So let's group that. Drag our mouse from left to right, everything's selected, and to make it easier to grab that geometry in the future, we're just using the group command. So down towards the bottom of the toolbar, using the group, and you can see it flashes there, and when we click on and off, it's grabbing everything in one go. Now all we need to do is duplicate that into position on the design. So to begin with, we're just going to show everything in our design. So if we go to our hide command and right click, it brings everything back up into view. Grab our lighting can, and we're going to use the linear array tool in order to achieve that. So in order to do that, we left click on our transform command, scroll down to array, then we select linear, zoom in. We've got the number of items. Now the number of items obviously for a green, amber and red traffic light will be 3, so we key in 3, enter. We'll pick our first reference point, make sure point is on our snaps command, select the point, and then we just drag up to the first point where our amber light's going to be, left click, right click to exit out of the command, or sorry, right click to bring it back again. There we go. And we can have a look on our perspective view to make sure we've got the right result. There we go, everything is in shot. Now we have a small warning light in this position here, which will indicate that the system is active. So we're going to put a little solid ellipsoid in that location. So if we dig underneath the solid geometry tool here by clicking on the small grey triangle, you can see we can drag out there, and the one almost towards the right hand side, the second one, last one from the right hand side, is ellipsoid by center. Simply left click on that. We'll zoom in on that view. You can see we're dragging it out. Now we'll bring up the perspective viewport by left clicking on perspective viewport, and we'll work with the right hand side view here. So just drag to the side, drag up to near, and where are we? There we go. We're switching to the front view, and we're just going to adjust it so we get a small disc on the front face of our traffic light. There we go. There's our warning light in position. Right, the last step in our process that we want to consider is just repositioning the mounting bracket. So in order to do that, we need to switch on our layer manager. So just right click, and we'll bring up our base. Make sure everything's in position there. Excellent. We can switch off our layer manager now. So we switched on the base. Turn off the layer manager. And the items that we need to do is just this little yellow item there and the mounting ring as well. So I'm holding down my shift key to add to my selection and grabbing the green elements on the design. So we've just got those elements in play. We're going to drag that up just slightly. So make sure our snaps is switched off in this case to save it grabbing to the wrong location. So I'm just disabling snaps for a moment, making sure ortho is switched on, and dragging up until the mounting ring is level with the end of the radius. Perfect. Now we drag the green section of the mounting ring on one side only and drag it to the left hand side so it's just protruding out from the design. That's fine. And we can delete the other side. Now in order to see this clearly, we're going to switch that to shaded. There we go. And you can see it there. We can toggle that to right, so we can just right click, scroll down to set view. We'll change that to the left hand side view so you can see how much it's protruding from the face. I'm just going to go straight back to wireframe then briefly. We can delete that side, and we're grabbing the mounting ring and we're going to mirror that across our design. So in order to do that, we're going to switch back on our tabs. We're going to use our transform mirror command. So transform, scroll down to mirror, left click, and we can just simply drag the point until it grabs the point snap or the midpoint snap. Drag straight up the page with ortho switched on, and if we can see there, we have an even placement of the mounting ring on either side. Let's double click on the left view to bring up the 4 viewports, and we can see now on our design the mounting ring is correctly positioned, supporting our mobile traffic light module. Okay, see you in the next lesson.